Luke Cage, boring also. It had a lot of boring scenes, a lot of talking. Every episode was so much talking that it was like, oh, it was like watching a soap opera or like. What's up, YouTube? My name is Jason, and you're watching Idiot's Corner. Anybody hear these rumors going around? I've seen it on a bunch of different channels that Marvel Studios already developing projects with the Defenders characters. When Netflix canceled the Marvel Defenders series, it was widely reported that Marvel would have to wait a 2-year moratorium from the date the show's cancellation before using any of the characters. That means, as Iron Fist and Daredevil were first shows to be canceled in 2018, Marvel would have to wait until the end of the year to use them. That might have changed. As with today's story about the Hulk, I'm just putting this out there as a rumor, but I've heard that from rock-solid sources that Marvel Studios is already in various stages of development on projects that utilize characters from Netflix Defender series. I do not know if they are using the same cast or even referencing the events of the Netflix shows. I also can't say for sure what characters will be first up, but Daredevil and the Punisher certainly seem to be the prime candidates due to their popularity. Specifically, the Punisher would be used in a Midnight Suns team with Doctor Strange, Blade, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, and Elsa Bloodstone, who is also slated for an MCU appearance. And just the possibility of Daredevil interacting with the other MCU characters could get people excited. If Marvel is in development on projects using one or more of these characters, it's possible that Netflix allowed them access to them long before the 2-year moratorium expired. Well, I read another thing. They don't know whether the moratorium covered that they couldn't even start production or if they just couldn't air the show. So, I mean, they could start airing shows as soon as the deadline is up, and they could have already been producing them, or they may have to wait and not even be able to produce them until. So either way, we could be getting these characters a lot sooner than we thought. In a way, I'm excited. In a way, I'm not. I really liked the characters they chose. I didn't even watch Iron Fist. I'm gonna tell you that right now, just because he was probably the only one I didn't really like the character that they chose. I watched the Defenders. I didn't really watch them in order either. I watched, I think, Luke Cage first. That one looked the most interesting. And then because he actually had powers. And then I watched Daredevil. Then I watched Jessica Jones. Actually, before that, I watched Luke Cage. Then I watched the Defenders. Then maybe, I don't remember. But I didn't watch them in the sequence I was supposed to. But the characters they chose were great. Whoever was in charge of that, awesome. Whoever was in charge of writing, sucked. The writing for all of these shows was horrible. The Defenders, I could barely sit through it. I'm one of those people that once I start something, I got to see it through. So once I started watching the Defenders, I had to watch it all the way through. I wouldn't say once I started something, but once I start a show or a movie, I have to see it all the way through. I have to see what happens in the end. So that's why I didn't even start on the Golden Fist guy, because after watching the Defenders, his show was the least interesting to me. So was Jessica Jones, but I wanted to know where she came from and the origin and stuff like that. So I started watching that show. Plus, I think she's pretty hot. The girl that plays her, she was from Breaking Bad. I don't even remember her in that. She's really hot in Breaking Bad. I just wish they would have done something with her a little bit, like let her change her clothes every once in a while. But besides that, but the show itself was boring. The first season, it was like, man, are they ever going to catch this guy? The one criminal through the whole thing is, through a whole season, you just know he's not going to get caught to the last episode once they set that up. So that was kind of annoying. And then most of it is just talk and talk. They were trying to give it a feel for an old PI show or PI movie, and they kind of gave it that, but it was kind of boring. Some of the stuff got old. She was good as the character, though. I hope they bring her back with some good writing and and a little bit more funds to the shows. Luke Cage, I thought that was a good character. His show was kind of boring. Most of these shows seem to have all the same writer. Daredevil had a little bit more action to me, but just like the Defenders, most of these shows were a bunch of talking. It was like with soap opera type cutscenes. Everybody was like, "Oh, you did this to me. No, well, I had this happen to me. Well, my life." I mean, maybe that's what this generation, like, I know a lot of this newer generation is all about. Who's the most repressed and who's the most, so this is, well, I'm blind. Well, I was a girl. I lost my parents. That's what this whole thing, Luke Cage lost his wife. I understand superhero stories have those origins, but man, it was just like a lot of talking. And like Jessica Jones by season 3 was super woke. Half the cast was gay. They were turning people gay that weren't originally gay. There was always the one gay lady that she worked for, but then all of a sudden they made the cop gay. Then all of a sudden she had a tranny secretary, and it was just like, are you serious? Like, who else is going to be gay in this? They were making everybody in the show gay. I don't know how they're going to bring this to Disney. I don't even know if it would bring it to Hulu with some of the sex scenes that they had in Jessica Jones and in Luke Cage. They're going to probably have to cut those out, which really wasn't necessary to the plot. It was almost like Game of Thrones-y type stuff where it didn't really do anything for the story, didn't do anything for the plot. It was almost like action scenes that didn't really need to be in there. But instead of action scenes, that's what you got. The Punisher, I like the Punisher. That's probably one of the best characters they came up with from this. He really embodies the Punisher. The actual show was boring. I would love to see him in a movie or in a show where he actually has good writing and good dialogue and something to do besides sit there and talk about his wife dying and and just continue to be himself in boring situations. I don't know how else to put it. By the second season of The Punisher, even when they had the opportunity for action, they didn't take it. I remember the Jigsaw was going to kill someone. They showed them go down an alley, and then Jigsaw walks out by himself. And this is after like 2 or 3 episodes of like barely any action. And it's like finally an action scene, and they skimmed right over it. Jigsaw was ridiculous. He was not the Jigsaw from the comics. He was not the Jigsaw from past movies. He was a whiny, and that seems like what a lot of these were, just whiny millennial type characters that just whined about their lives and whined about their past and how horrible everything is for them. And he barely had, like, he had a few scars on his face, and then he was, oh, look at my face, and it was like, he still wasn't a bad looking dude. Like, he got the hot shrink in the show. So I mean, and then his mask that he wore was just so stylish, and I don't know, it wasn't that good. But the character, like I said, the character himself was awesome. Luke Cage, boring also. Had a lot of boring scenes, a lot of talking. Every episode was so much talking that it was like, it was like watching a soap opera or like 90210. It was like a lot of drama, more than a superhero show. Anyways, I hope that if Disney takes them, they develop it a little better. I did a review on The Mandalorian. That writing is not that good. The concept of the show is great. They have a great concept. Baby Yoda, The Mandalorian, great character development. They just need to bump up the writing a little bit and make it a little bit more coherent. Cut out the plot holes. If Disney does that with these shows, then they're just going to be the same old crap. I don't think anybody was really watching the last episodes, and that's why they ended up cutting them, because they were just so horrible. And let me know what you think. Did you like these shows? Did you like the original Defenders? Did you like the series? Was it anything more than good characters? Because that's all I got from this was good, just good characters. It was really hard to watch some of the episodes. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. Like my videos if you could. If you enjoyed it, if you could, please help me get my channel started. I'm just starting out. Don't have very many viewers. Don't get that many views on my videos. It seems like some get more than others, but I seem to attract a lot of SJWs. They want to come and dislike my videos, so they've got my channel dislike rating off. So if you can help me out and like the videos if you liked it, if you enjoyed them, or let me know what I'm doing wrong. You know, they're disliking the videos, but they're not saying anything. But I understand what they're not liking it for. But if you guys could, they're very much more active on social media than the normal person. If you guys could please help me out, help me get my likes back up, I would appreciate it. And until next time, have a great day.